Alright, so our first member would be the UK. Yes, please.
Good evening. Today, the people of the UK have suffered from many attacks at the hands of terrorist organizations. However, we as a nation remain strong and united. With regards to the recent devastating Hezbollah terrorist attacks in Beirut and on the Israel embassy in London, we are defending our values and ideals and have taken significant military action against Hezbollah. The HMS Ark Royal is en route to Beirut with the intent of launching airstrikes against confirmed Hezbollah targets on the Israeli-Lebanese border. The Prime Minister of the UK and the Prime Minister of Lebanon have discussed the situation and have concurred with the UK's response to Hezbollah. We request the support of our NATO allies in quelling Hezbollah violence and allying us with the terrorist organization. The United Kingdom expresses our deepest condolences for those affected by the bombing of the Israel embassy in London. We commemorated the 47 lives lost in a joint memorial with our own Prime Minister, John Major, in attendance to pay his respects. Another IRA attack has resulted in the death of 18 people from a firebomb at the White Horse Inn. This will not be tolerated, and the UK will respond accordingly. In Serbia, we acknowledge that ethnic cleansing is occurring. We condemn the actions of the Yugoslavian army in acquiring an autonomous territory on its northern border and annexing it, an aggressive and impulsive action. We support NATO and our allies in the region, and we wish to expand NATO's presence in order to protect the ethnic minorities. We support UN peacekeepers that are protecting civilians and providing humanitarian aid. The ultimate goal in the region is to de-escalate tensions in the region through NATO and the UN Protectionary Force. We want to protect as many lives as possible. The people of the UK are resilient and strong. We will not tolerate acts of violence or terror. We shall retaliate to our attackers and stand by our friends. Our government remains strong and we will defend our people. Thank you.
Delegates, please try to keep it to 2 minutes.
Please, Germany 1994.
Hello everyone, I hope your things are doing well. My ministers and I would first like to offer our deepest condolences to Serbia and all the victims of the bombings. We understand that this is a very hard issue to combat and that Serbia has clearly been taking all actions that it can. In our cabinet, we've been working on combating issues with the refugees through integration. With this regards, we really want to make sure that everyone's cultures are really respected and acknowledged throughout. We've also been further investigating in our own country on recent criminal activity to make sure that in our own country we set an example for the rest of Europe and that we provide a no tolerance to any acts of terrorism, no matter the form. We currently have a cabinet member who's experienced with dangerous criminals, so he's currently employing all his resources. With regards to the Croatian government, we are planning on helping them to employ new policies to combat their own issues and to work against this. And we are working with other countries in hopes that we can combat the issues of refugees at all sources and to make sure that they are fully integrated into all countries to make sure that they are fully utilized. Thank you.
Please, representative from the US.
Good evening. The United States, in light of recent events, believes in a policy of NATO escalation in the Serbian region. The United States is looking for a solution for the Bosnian crisis and believes that the most effective way to do this is through tactical airstrikes by NATO. The United States expects our allies to move arms into the region despite the embargo in place. The United States calls upon Germany, the United Kingdom, and France to increase action and step up diplomatic communications. The United States believes that it is essential to create a policy that lets the Bosniaks defend themselves against the terrorism in the region. In regards to the grammar school bombing, where 300 Serbian children died, the United States condemns the bombing as well as any other acts of terrorism and expresses deep sympathy for the victims of the attack. We must recognize, however, that Milosevic has engaged in mass genocide, ethnic cleansing, and terrorism for years, and the magnitude of Milosevic's actions outweigh this one instance of terrorism. For this reason, the United States will not change its stance on providing aid to the Bosnians. The United States, lastly, believes that actions taken on behalf of Russia do not help the situation in Serbia. The United States believes that providing arms to the Bosnian Serbs only further complicates the situation and makes it more difficult to achieve the end goal of peace in the region. Thank you.
Please, delegation of Russia, anytime.
So all constituencies.
I'm Victoria Burden, the Prime Minister representing the Russian cabinet. Over the past day, we have focused on the primary issue of Serbia, specifically on the illegal atrocities inflicted by NATO and Western countries against innocent Serbs. Therefore, Russia has engaged in an ICJ court case. In the beginning of the day, we were discussing why we need to engage in the case, and we are pleased to say that we have now completed the case and are hopefully awaiting the result. Just to reiterate what the case was against, NATO representatives acted illegally outside of their no-fly zone and shot down 4 Serbian planes merely monitoring their area. In addition, our President Yeltsin presented a speech to the GA in which he condemned any illegal actions and sent out to other nations and urging them to join Russia in her quest to return international law to the UN and ensure that international law is held in the utmost respect and importance. In addition, we were appalled by the crisis of the bombing of over 300 Serbian school children, and therefore she points out that this bombing just goes to prove that this is a two-sided issue. It is not the Serbs inflicting only violence against other sides in the U.S. It is a two-sided issue, and clearly violence is happening on both sides. Therefore, it is illogical to state that the Serbs are creating any sort of terrorism or genocide, being that violence is inflicted on innocent Serbs equally. Thank you.
Please, delegation from Serbia.
Good evening. The Cabinet of Serbia has spent the day mourning the loss of our 300 innocent students in a school north of Belgrade. We would like to condemn the Croats for their vicious attack and infringement upon our national sovereignty. We see this as not only an attack on our nation, but on our youth. We would also like to announce that we are pursuing finding the culprit of this terrible attack through diplomacy. We are conducting an investigation alongside Interpol and to ensure that there is no bias when conducting this investigation. On a more light note, we have also been pursuing agricultural reforms today, and we are implementing a system of agricultural reform which will help to stimulate economic growth within our country, as well as to help ameliorate the problem of poverty and starvation within our country. Finally, we would also like to condemn the U.S. for shooting down our planes in our own airspace. We also believe that this is an infringement upon our national sovereignty, and this will not be tolerated. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to invite the member of present-day China.
The People's Republic of China is proud to present that we have worked on a resolution today that will de-escalate tensions in Hong Kong. This will provide economic incentives for Hong Kong, including a living wage, as well as breaking up monopolies in Hong Kong. We have Hong Kong's best interests at heart, and we are very excited to be working with them. We've also sent diplomatic messages to Vietnam, but they have refused to work with us, preferring to pitch a fit. As such, we've sent military advisors in order to continue discussions. In response to North Korea's continued nuclear proliferation, China has imposed trade embargoes on North Korea. Finally, we are proud to announce 3 upcoming NFL games in China: Bears versus Packers, Redskins versus Seahawks, and Browns versus Colts. We hope that this will foster beneficial relationship with the United States. Thank you.
Please, delegation of Iran. Floor.
Good evening, I'm Hossein Hagar, and I am the Minister of Defense for Iran. Iran has been in militaristic issues recently. First of all, we are grateful that the United States has apologized for their mistake. The issue has brought to our attention the changes in and around the Islamic State of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And we will use this opportunity to state that we will stand close behind all our allies in the region, and that we will fully support the Shiite community. We have begun moving our troops in order to show our support for Iraq, Syria, and the Shiites. Iran has also been busy due to the escalation of the civil war in Syria. We heavily decry the involvement of Turkey in this issue. We will stand completely behind our ally Syria, and we hope for peace to come quickly into this region. We believe that ending this issue swiftly will allow us to focus upon the humanitarian issues within Syria. In addition to the militaristic issues, we have been addressing many of our economic, humanitarian as well as governmental issues within our own country. And due to our discussion, we have quickly come towards many resolutions. We thank you for giving us this opportunity to come before you, and thank you.
Please, the delegation of President of the United States.
Good evening. Earlier today, the Department of Justice's investigation confirmed that CIA servers were compromised by a hacktivist cyber-terrorist group. No classified information was found to have been leaked. The National Security Agency and Central Intelligence Agency are taking proactive measures to strengthen and fortify the security of government servers. The NSA is currently in control of the situation, and the President takes this opportunity to condemn cybercrime and reassure citizens that our agencies are dedicated and capable of retrieving the locations and identities of the perpetrators and bringing cyber criminals to justice. But global tensions extend beyond this one event. In our efforts to protect and defend the global community, the United States condemns the Democratic People's Republic of Korea's nuclear activity, as well as their stance against non-proliferation. With the sole intention of the protection of our citizens and the global community at large, we are strengthening and improving our missile defense systems for the purpose of national security. As a gesture of goodwill and solidarity with the nations of the South Pacific, the President has elected to send a freedom of navigation flight over the South China Sea in order to reaffirm their status as international waters. Though we have recently begun dialogue with China, it is imperative that the South China Sea remains safe for trade between all nations. This is not an act of aggression against the People's Republic of China, but rather a reminder to all nations that only through respect and regard for international law can peace be maintained. Thank you.
And please, may we have the delegation of Turkey.
Good evening. Esteemed colleagues, I am the Economic Minister of Turkey. Today, Turkey moved to crack down on terror-supporting corporations in Turkey in response to the PKK terrorist attacks that killed 27, wounding many more. We also moved to limit lira as the only currency able to utilize in Turkey. There is a 1-month period to exchange currency and to change or move monetary assets. This is in order to stabilize tourism and increase safety. We also began escorting international humanitarian aid into Syria, hoping to foster relations with local people. Turkey is a strong country and will remain a player in international affairs. And we express our condolences for the Hungarian refugee killed in Hungary, and for a peaceful resolution of the China Sea conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, and at this point I would like to invite all members to step up to the front and to allow our esteemed press delegation to ask you questions.